Here we go.
Yeah, wow.
Well, hey everybody, I'm Bill with Live Simple, Live Free, and it's way past time for us to start getting some stuff planted in the garden. Now, you know, life has just gotten away from us this spring. We're way behind in planting. This is April 12th, and we haven't done anything yet, even as far as planting seedlings inside or anything like that. You know, I'm here to help Elizabeth. I built the beds for her and I help her when she needs the help, but she's the one that's passionate about gardening, and she's mainly the one that's doing it. But as you know, if you watch my channel, we were just about ready to get started. She was just about ready to get started with planting seedlings inside when my father passed away. And because of that, we lost about probably at least 2 weeks as far as being able to get to the planting, because it just takes a lot of time to get everything involved, you know, with that, and to then to drive up to Pennsylvania for the funeral, and then we got back. We lost like 10 days from all of that, and then after we got back, I don't know if you've ever really realized how much is involved with paperwork after somebody passes away. So she spent another several days distributing death certificates to appropriate places and all that kind of stuff. So she finished with all of that, and she was just about to start on the garden when the decision was made that she and her sister are gonna move her father out here to the East Coast. He lives in Northern California. He's been there for 40 years, and a couple months ago his wife, Elizabeth's stepmom, passed away, and he's been there basically alone since then, and he's very lonely. So she talked to her sister Dana, and they decided to, and he agreed that he's going to move back east and move in with Dana. She has a separate apartment attached. So once again, there was a lot of time involved in getting prepared for that, and she's out there in California right now, bringing him back in a couple of days. And then after she gets back, she's only going to be here a couple days, and then we're going to Florida for a week. So it's just really difficult with our schedule right now, everything that's going on, to get this done. Anyway, that was a very, very long preamble. But so that's why we haven't gotten anything planted at all. So I got to get something done, and it's really, I went online. I went on to the greatest encyclopedia known to man, YouTube. I did a little bit of research of stuff that can be planted in the ground before the final frost date. Our final frost date here is May 8th, which is about 3.5 weeks away. But I discovered that there are quite a few plants that are actually cold lovers that you can plant before final frost. Of course, the closer you get to that date, the less chance that there will be a frost, and the last chance that there will be a deep frost. It might go 1 or 2 degrees below freezing, but that's about it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be planting directly into the bed here outside by seed some of the crops that are cold resistant, and in fact don't do well in hot at all, so it's best to get an early start. And foremost on the list of crops that like cooler weather is lettuce. Now, I had a misconception about growing lettuce in the garden previous to this. Well, first of all, I didn't really consider lettuce to be a vegetable. I considered it as a garnishment, just like a bed to put a real salad on top of. But part of that was because, you know, it used to be the only thing I ate was iceberg lettuce. Well, since we have discovered real lettuce, something that's real hearty and beefy and green, I have discovered that lettuce is a vegetable in and of itself. So now when I build a salad, I don't think of the lettuce as the bed to put the salad on. I think of it as an integral part of the salad. Also, before we started growing gardens, which was just last year, we had lettuce last year for the first time. We did a garden a couple years, like 40 years ago, but we didn't have any lettuce. So last summer we had lettuce, and I was really surprised. I really enjoyed having lettuce in the garden. I make hamburgers for lunch a lot, and if I don't make that, then I make some other kind of sandwich. And what I discovered was that I really liked just being able to come out to the garden and pick 1 or 2 or 3 leaves of lettuce, fresh lettuce right out of the garden to put on my salad. Up until then I thought, well, you know, if you're going to grow lettuce, you're just going to have to harvest it, and then you got all this lettuce, you're going to have to eat salads for 2 weeks. Total misunderstanding of how that works, being a non-gardener. So I really enjoy just being able to come out every day and get just a couple leaves of lettuce to put on a salad. Put on a sandwich or something like that for lunch, as well as, of course, picking a larger quantity for fresh salads, for garden salads as well. So I discovered that I really enjoy lettuce. So that's what I'm going to be planting here now, is several different varieties of lettuce. So I've got several different types of lettuce here that I'm going to be planting all together. This is mesclun gourmet greens mixture. It's got several different types of lettuce in there, and then this is a all-season romaine blend that's also got several different types. So I like to mix it up, get a bunch of different kinds of varieties. They look pretty, different colors, and they taste a little different too. I'm really not sure what I'm doing here, but it can't be too difficult. It's not rocket science. So last year we just put 1 row right here. I think I'll do the same thing again because it's very easy to grab when you open the top, and it's right near the edge, easy to grab on a daily basis. So I'll mix these together. So that was the romaine, and now I'll also use the mesclun. If they grow in too thick, I could certainly thin some of it out, but I think these are plants that do very well close together. Okay. So I'll go ahead and cover these up, and these are only maybe about 1/4 of an inch deep. And I should have something to stick here at the end so I know where this row is and where it stops. But I did not come prepared. I don't have anything to stick in there. So I decided to grab my American flag that I use on the back of my bicycle when I'm touring. I'll stick that in there for just now until I can get something else to put to mark what it is, so I know where my lettuce row is. I think that'll work. So some of the other crops that I've discovered can handle being planted ahead of time before the last frost date is parsnips. And if you have watched the recent videos when Elizabeth discovered that her parsnips had wintered over, she went absolutely wild. She loves parsnips, and we had parsnips. We didn't preserve any of them. We ate parsnips every other night for about a week and a half. So I'll be planting parsnips, and then carrots. Carrots also go well when you cook them with parsnips. If you cook them together and mash them together, kind of like mashed potatoes, it really works well. So parsnips and carrots, and then beets. These are Detroit dark red beets. And so I'm going to plant these in here. I think what I'm going to do is make rows and alternate them, parsnips, carrots, beets, like that. And because this is an intensive bed, I can actually get the rows pretty close together. So we'll see how this goes. Now this dirt is actually quite soft because I just put this in here because the dirt was too low, and I added like 4 inches of dirt. If it wasn't so soft, I'd have to use a trowel. But since it's so soft, I could just make a little trench with my fingers. Very easy to do. I put this across here just as a barrier so I don't go past that. And I'll take those rows all the way over to the other side. Okay, so I got 6 rows here now going all the way across. So I guess I will mix them up. I'll do parsnips, carrots, beets, parsnips, carrots, beets. And I will be planting them no more than maybe 1/4 of an inch deep. These carrot seeds are really tiny. Wow. I have to be careful that these don't blow away. It's windy, and a gust of wind came along and blew half of them out of my hand all over the grass. Some of these, of course, will have to be thinned as they start to grow. When I was building these beds last summer, a number of people expressed concern that we wouldn't be able to reach the center, but as you can see, I can reach 2/3 of the way across and then go around and reach the other side without ever getting down on my knees. So now I finished this other side and I'll cover it up. Okay, so now I've finished this and I want to make sure that I know where they're planted. I don't want to start planting something else here that goes this way and gets into that before they start to come up. So, like I said over there where I used the American flag, I didn't really have anything to mark it with, so I just took a nail and a piece of white plastic. I'm just going to stick that in right there, right where that row is, and I'll do one at the other side so that I know how far over they're planted. And then from here over, we're going to be planting sweet potatoes. Elizabeth loves sweet potatoes as well. Alright, so I got them all planted. Now all I have to do is give them some water. I don't have any kind of a dedicated garden watering system at this point. That'll probably come eventually, but for right now all I can do is just use a standard old water sprinkler that most people use on their grass. It works. Gets all 4 of these at the same time. So it feels really good to have the lettuce, parsnips, beets, and carrots planted. As far as all the rest of the stuff that we're going to do, I don't know what we're going to do, because like I said earlier, Elizabeth will get home from California in a couple days, and then we'll be here for a couple of days, and then next week we'll be in Florida pretty much all week. So we can't really get to too much until after May 1st or so, and we're just going to be getting a late start, but you know, it should still work. So we'll be sure to keep you updated on what's happening with this. And I hope you've enjoyed watching this neophyte stumble through planting a garden. Thanks for watching, everybody. You be blessed. Live simple, live free. See you next time.